actually exactly what happened was that my wife and I were in a Cisco's restaurant. It's not there anymore, maybe that's a message, I don't know. But anyway, we're in a Cisco's restaurant eating dinner one night, and I was complaining about something political that was going on. And my wife actually said to me, we'll either go run and do something about it or stop talking about it. So I said, yes ma'am, as I say to her frequently, and decided to run for office. That was 1992, and have been doing this since. What I would also want you to know about legislators generally is we are a part-time group of folks. Now, it doesn't feel like part-time, particularly for the President and Senate and myself, and for a lot of other members too. But the reality is, what we do on a quote-unquote officially part-time basis. Almost all of us who are in the General Assembly have jobs back home, and I think that's the way it ought to be. I don't think we ever want to create a political class in the state where you got people who are professionally serving in an office, and that's what they do for a living at the General Assembly level. You want to make sure that you got folks who are passing laws up here and then going back home and having to live under the laws that they pass as they run the businesses. And I just think that's the way it ought to be, and I would want you to know that. And certainly where I am, I know that's where Senator McConnell is, and a lot of other folks in the General Assembly, that's the way that we all have to operate. A couple of issues in particular that I think matter to you that I want to tell you we're working hard on. Tort reform, Senator McConnell and I were talking about that just a moment ago. I know you'll have some more to say about that in just a second. But tort reform and getting that bill on through the rest of the General Assembly and getting it finished and into law is incredibly important for South Carolina's business climate. Similar to the workers' compensation reform that we did just a couple of years ago. Those of you who have paying workers' comp premiums, I'm sure have noticed that your workers' comp premiums are lower than they were just 3 or 4 years ago, and that's a direct result of the reform that we got passed. I think tort reform can do several things for us and can help improve the way we are viewed literally around the country by business folks around the country. Holding the line on taxes and making sure that in this very difficult budget year that we don't allow taxes to get increased in any categories out there. I think that matters a great deal, and I know that we're working very hard. The Ways and Means Committee, literally, House Ways and Means Committee is literally meeting as we speak, working on that, and their marching orders are to balance the budget by cutting as you need to, not to raise taxes to bring the budget into balance. We're not Washington. We don't borrow money to solve the problem. We either have to do it on the tax side or do it on the cutting spending side or some combination thereof, and they're working hard to cut spending to be able to bring the budget back into balance. We have a taxpayer bill of rights that we're going to work on this year. Senator McConnell has been very instrumental in that issue, and I'm looking forward to working with you on that, Senator, because of some of the things that we've seen happen where we want the Department of Revenue to enforce the laws of South Carolina. What we don't want them to do is make the law in South Carolina, so we're trying to make sure. But that yellow thing means I have to, like, what's a minute?
1 minute.
Okay. Before I get to, before my time runs out, let me stop there then just to say to you, the sponsors who put this on, thank you for doing it. Folks at Eldico and Pasco particularly, thank y'all for what y'all do. I want to see us cause more contracts to go to South Carolina companies like you guys were able to do with Boeing recently, and I think we need a lot more of that, and we need to be working hard to make sure that that happens. With that, I'll just stop and allow my friend